Right, on to our special focus this evening. Pinstripes have taken on a whole new meaning, at least under the current crop of high-profile heads of state and governments around the world. Be it US President Donald Trump with a tie as red as the faces of his administration whenever he tweets, to India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi, whose style statements do not go unnoticed whenever he steps off a plane anywhere in the world. Global leaders are taking the pinstripe, the white shirts, the box-pleated skirts to a whole new level. But what exactly are these leaders trying to achieve? Are they allowing their clothes to lend added emphasis to their statements, or are they merely ordinary men and women who cannot resist the lures of high fashion? Take a look at this special report.
There are very few occasions when the words haute couture, which means high fashion, and politics are used together in the same sentence. But these young leaders are changing the world, one suit at a time. They're armed with a wardrobe that can give movie stars a run for their money and do not shy away from strutting their stuff to their full political advantage. It's a paradigm shift from the time when Mahatma Gandhi used his radically different attire as a potential challenge to the elaborately dressed British, a loincloth in England's freezing weather and rubber flip-flops. But in today's world, do rags make rajas? Is political power directly correlated to sartorial style? Take French President Emmanuel Macron. The banker-turned-politician has a lot on his platter right now, from overhauling archaic French labour laws to reviving the country's flagging economy. And yet, France's youngest president to date has managed to refine the stodgy uniform of the power elite. Pinstripe suits, boring white shirts, modest spread collars, they've all acquired a certain je ne sais quoi under Monsieur le Président. Another case in point, and another man referred to as eye candy by his many woman admirers around the world, Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, who breaks the internet on a regular basis with his sense of style, both flamboyant and immaculate as the occasion demands. German Chancellor Angela Merkel, unkindly referred to as Mutti or Mummy by the German media, is not particularly known for being a fashionista. Her wardrobe is notoriously sensible and old world, but with startling experiments that sometimes go wrong. From plunging necklines to frumpy pantsuits, Miss Merkel always makes headlines for the wrong reasons, at least as far as her sartorial style is concerned. Back home, Prime Minister Narendra Modi is also known to indulge in fashion diplomacy from time to time. The famous pinstriped suit, the bandgala jackets, the bright safas or the edgy scarves, Mr. Modi never fails to speak through his clothes. And what about West Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee? She's a master strategist, perhaps the reason why her deliberately low-key cotton saris and plain Jane flip-flops make an inverted fashion statement and stand out for their sheer, in-your-face pizzazz. Now let's take a look at New Delhi's very own muffler man, its Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal. His pants look like he's ready for the floods. And his overall attire seems to always take a rain check with the Met Department before he sets out. Kejriwal is controversial, but his dress sense, or rather lack of it, has certainly not gone unnoticed. Today's politicians are dressing it up and dressing it down, all for political effect. Just goes to show that when it comes to outsmarting others, the only way is to suit up. For Neha Jha, WION.
All right, so is it all about image in the high-powered world of politics? Do fine feathers make fine policies as well? Joining me to discuss this is internationally renowned fashion designer Poonam Bhagat, whose Taika label is India Global at its best, and Nitin Mantri, CEO Avian Media and the president of PRCAI, a public relations consultancy. Welcome to the show, both of you. Poonam, first to you, how important, according to you, is good dressing in the political world, and how do you view fashion rebels, if we may call them, like Mamata Banerjee, Lalu Yadav, Arvind Kejriwal? Is their style of dressing in itself also a trend-setting fashion statement, according to you?
You see, every leader, every head of state is making a certain impact on his people, on their people, and they have a certain. Mamata Banerjee, Lalu Prasad Yadav, Arvind Kejriwal are following a totally different trajectory from, let's say, Trudeau or Macron. So the image that they are building is a totally different image from that of these young presidents and prime ministers that you spoke about earlier. I wouldn't go as far as to say it's inverted snobbery, but they are making a statement that they do not, that they are with the masses, they're part of the masses, and they can relate to the masses, which is not such a bad thing at all. And it's their leadership. Mamata Banerjee has been voted as one of the 100 most influential women by the Time magazine in 2012. Rubber chappals and white dhoti notwithstanding, so it's really, it's her persona that she has created, as opposed to a lot of other world leaders who would follow a totally different image building pattern.
All right, let me take that straight across to Nitin. What exactly have you, from your long years of experience, observed about well-dressed people in leadership roles? Would you say that outward appearance is directly linked to the success of a politician, or have you found that it has seldom made a difference if good policies are not in place?
You know, if you go back to corporate history, power dressing was always key. But how we're coming to politicians, I think like Poonam was mentioning, every politician is you know, focused towards a particular constituency, creating an image based on that. But at the end of the day, if you're not performing, if you're not delivering on whether it's development or what you promised, is it going to make a huge difference? Probably not.
Poonam, let me also ask you for any anecdotes about famous people who you have advised, and perhaps cases that have gone horribly wrong when you've observed them.
I don't know if I would like to name a few, but
sure.
Why don't we start with the ones who are immaculately dressed, or you want to only target those who are not?
Go ahead, share the good cases as well.
A case in point. Okay. Well, we can go right back to, like you said, we can go back to Nehru and his jacket.
Yes.
Which became iconic and is still referred to as the Nehru jacket. We can go back to Jinnah, as far as Jinnah. He went on to become the father of the nation across the border. His sartorial style was hugely appreciated. Apparently, he never repeated a tie. Look at the Kennedys. The Kennedys were good looking, they were well suited. This was all part of their charm. This was all part of their larger than life persona. But having said that, you have to perform. Just like Nitin said, all these leaders performed. If you're not able to perform, you don't have the leadership qualities, a Brioni suit is not going to help you, neither is an Armani. Trump wears a lot of Brioni suits, and he also wears red ties, which are supposed to be very powerful. Red exudes power, it exudes loyalty, it exudes love, it exudes passion. I've noticed that he wears a lot of red ties. His ties are a little bit longer than they should be. His suits are a little bit boxy, his sleeves are a little too long. But all that notwithstanding, if the man has leadership qualities or had leadership qualities, all this is irrelevant. Yasser Arafat, he turned the ubiquitous headscarf into a symbol of solidarity. He turned it into his political symbol. He turned it into a symbol of Palestinian solidarity.
Right.
So you can wear anything. You just mentioned Gandhi. who comes to your mind. He's the first person who comes to your mind. So if you have the leadership qualities, you can wear anything and get away with it. But if you do not have the leadership qualities, you can wear the most beautiful clothes and fall flat on your face.
I'm going to come back to you, Poonam, to actually name, if you would like, top 3 political personalities who perhaps you would like to dress as well. But coming to you, Nitin, any specific instances that you can tell us of when the outward appearance has actually impacted the success that a leader has had in their project, or even amongst your clients that you've come across?
Well, you know, I think if you look at the current crop of leaders, I think, you know, every leader dresses to his constituency, and that has had an impact. And I think it's just not the what you're wearing, but it's also important your body language, the way your hand movements are there. It's a combination of that. I mean, if you look at the Prime Minister, you know, during the election campaign 3 years ago, his body movements, his hand movements, the victory signs, they were all very positive. What he was also wearing, that became trend-setting. If you look at other people, you know, with the opposition, the muffler, of course, became, because that was his constituency. Trainers with jeans, that became a statement at some point in the past. But, you know, end of the day, you know, success follows. I think, you know, people who do the job well.
Sure, success does not fit a straight jacket, certainly. Poonam, as I warned you earlier, I want to come to you for a quick rapid-fire round on the 3, perhaps it's hard to pick, but 3 political personalities who you perhaps have dressed or would like to dress in the coming time.
Unfortunately, I don't do menswear, but I would love to dress Macron and Trudeau, both. Eye candy, as they were called, but they're also good leaders, compassionate leaders. I would like to dress Hillary Clinton. I'd like to get her out of her suits. I would rather put her into something a little more feminine. I would like to dress Merkel for the same reason. And the third woman that I would like to dress, I can't say.
Nitin, would you have your pick as we let you go?
But I think, yes, Merkel.
Of the 3 most well-dressed political personalities?
No, I leave the dressing to Poonam. I'd rather just help get their message across to the public.
That's safe and convenient. All right, we're going to wrap it up on that note. Poonam and Nitin, appreciate you joining us on the broadcast. Well, the word perhaps is out. Dress your best perhaps is the best way to summarize this. We're going to leave it there for that moment. But do stay tuned to World is One News. News and updates continue right here. Thanks for watching.